Hello from Macau, and yes, this is gonna be a very good one. Hello and welcome. Today we are in Macau and we got here by taking the train from Guangzhou to a city called Zhuhai. And from there we crossed the border between mainland China and Macau. And from there we took a free bus. It seems that a lot of the big hotels here has free buses from the border. And we are gonna be here for one night, which I think is enough time since this is a quite small city. I have had a look at the map and the city is divided into two parts. So the plan is to go to the island part today. That way there's gonna be less travel tomorrow. Yes, a very good plan indeed. Okay, let's get started. Okay, we have now made it to the first destination, which is probably the most famous building here in Macau. And it is this building right here called the Grand Lisboa. Yes, very nice indeed. And here is a below average fun fact. The reason why it's called the Grand Lisboa is because Macau used to belong to Portugal in the past. And Lisboa is the capital of Portugal. So there is a little bit of throwback going on here. Either way, so the reason why I'm here is to look at some famous buildings. For example, I know they have some small versions of different famous things, like a small Eiffel Tower. And then I also want to see if there is any difference between here and mainland China. We were unable to check in early at our hotel, so we decided to go for a quick walk around the city. Hello, we have now checked in at our hotel and here is a quick room tour. This time we are staying at a 5-star hotel. I almost never choose 5 stars since I am a very humble person. But since Macau is known for being a bit luxurious, I thought that it could be worth a try. And it's actually not that expensive at all because we're here on a Monday, so prices are a lot lower. It's around half the price compared to Fridays and Saturdays. Okay, next we are gonna head over to the island part of Macau. Our first destination during this very nice evening was a street food street. It was a quite small street, less than 100 meters. And the highlight here was the egg tarts. I tried one and it was a wonderful one. Definitely the best one I've had in my life. We spent around 45 minutes here before going to the next place. We have successfully made it over to the island part of Macau. All the lights has been turned on and not that many people outside. Quite empty actually. If I am correct, then the main thing to see here is the main road called the Cotai Strip. And this is where they have the small Eiffel Tower, for example. Besides that, here they also have a lot of hotels to look at, which can be interesting for some people. I am part of those people. I think this is definitely worth a visit. They have a lot of nice decoration going on here. The next place we decided to visit was the Venetian, and I was very much looking forward to seeing the indoor version of Venice. My first impression was that it was very nice, blue skies all day long. But as we know, things can only stay exciting for that long, and very soon we wanted to leave this place. But that was easier said than done. This place was like a jungle with very few exits. We were trying to ask for directions, but they were not that helpful since the exits were so far away. It's like they're trying to keep you inside for as long as possible. But eventually we found our way out. We probably walked non-stop for 30 minutes. After that we walked along the main road, and here we finally saw the Parisian with the Eiffel Tower. Let me tell you this. This was the most impressive building I have seen in my life. It was so massive. I don't want to sound weird or anything, but I got goosebumps when I saw it because how impressive it was. Nothing too special inside though. We stared at it for around 30 minutes and then we went back to the hotel. We have now made it back to the hotel. Sorry, my bad. Let me clarify. We have now made it back to the 5-star hotel. It's been a pretty long day and we've taken around 25,000 steps. So one thing Macau is famous for is gambling, and we did go into a couple of casinos just to have a look. However, it is not allowed to film inside the casinos, which is a rule I respected. In case you wonder how it was, then I think it was a very low energy environment where the people looked a bit tired. With that said, do I gamble? No, I don't. Allow me to share why. And this has to do with something called lottery mentality versus action mentality, which is something I learned back when I was 22 years old from a video called 7 Things Rich People Do That the Poor Don't. And this lesson really stuck with me. So it basically said that poor people believe that the only way they are gonna make money is by getting lucky. For example, buying lottery tickets and gambling. While rich people believe that if they are gonna make money, it's all gonna depend on them. Rich people believe they create their own luck through their own actions. For example, doing the right thing, not doing the wrong thing, having a plan and taking calculated risk. So ever since I learned that, I have never been interested in gambling. Hello, it's 7 in the morning and I'm now gonna explore the city part of Macau alone. I have a couple of destinations, so let's do this. I'm gonna hit them hard and fast. The first destination I wanted to visit was the slightly European part of Macau. Here they have the famous church, which only has a front because it burned down sometime in the past. I was able to find my way there without problem. The stairs leading up to the church were very nice and the view from here was very good, but the church was a bit underwhelming. After that I headed off to my next destination and I followed Google Maps, which told me to walk in the city between the buildings, which did not go well. The streets were so small and narrow and the air quality was very bad because of all the motorcycles, and the fact that the traffic is on the left side did not make it easier. I gave up trying to find my way after like 10 minutes. Realized there's no way this is gonna work, so I missed out on that one. I have now arrived at my last destination, which is gonna be this very nice walk by the water here. Next, I want to share one thing I recently learned from listening to the Modern Wisdom podcast. And it was this idea that it's quite common to believe or fantasize that right now we're not living our real life. But one day, when we have solved all our problems, that's when we will start to live our real life, when we do the things we really like. Here is the quote. There is this strange feeling that one is not yet in real life, or that one's life has not yet begun. For the time being, one is going through life, doing their day-to-day things and never committing to anything. But there is always the fantasy that sometime in the future the real life will begin. This is also known as deferred happiness syndrome, the feeling that your life has not yet begun, that your present reality is a prelude to an idyllic future. Time will pass and sooner or later you will realize that this prelude you rush through was in fact the one to your death. So the idea is to take action now. Live life now, because now is the only real thing there is. At least for me, now, this moment, is more or less always gonna feel the same. Of course, there are some highs and lows in life, but it's more or less always gonna return to that default state. Things might get a little bit easier, but it's not like they're gonna get a lot easier. And I think this is one of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel and is trying to step outside of my comfort zone a little bit more now. One obvious thing I've learned is that unless I change and take action, then things are not gonna get better. So this idea that I can just relax and everything is gonna work out has not worked for me, at least. The only way that works is if I lower my standards. So yeah, this is just a friendly reminder to myself and to people who wait for that right moment to take action. Because most likely that perfect moment is never going to come. To end this video, let me share some things that I've noticed between Macau and mainland China. I think there's only a couple of things. First thing, of course, is that there are a lot of casinos here. Gambling is not allowed in China, so Macau is where a lot of Chinese people come to gamble. Next thing is that I've not seen a single electronic vehicle here. Air quality is pretty bad in the city, especially when you're walking between the buildings. So many motorcycles here. Another thing is that there are so many smokers here. You can tell that they go pretty hard. Maybe it's because they got too stressed from all the gambling. Another thing is that some of the streets here has a little bit of European influence. But I don't think you can fool anyone into believing that they are in Europe. Traffic is also on the left side. Yes, I think that's all the things I can think of. Okay, that's the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you, yes, you, a great day.